Are your kitchen and bathroom way overdue for a remodel? Well, I got the guy for you. Call John Sellers at First Response Contracting, 484-256-7136. Both residential and commercial services, and he's licensed and insured. Call him at 484-256-7136. First Response Contracting.
From real estate to real life and everything in between, The Brad Weisman Show. And now, your host, Brad Weisman.
All right, we're back in the studio here, and we got a really cool guest here. We have really, really good entertainment in this area, and we're actually spoiled. For a small town, we have great entertainment. We have two really nice places for entertainment. We have the Santander Arena and the Santander Performing Arts Center, and there's a guy that pretty much runs the whole thing. He's a friend of mine. He's also a neighbor. He lives right down the street. His name is David Farrar. He's the general manager of those two places, and I thought, you know what, let's bring him on and find out what's going on in these places, to the arena and everything. So how you doing?
Good. I actually thought this was at your house, so I could just walk up and do this real quick.
You probably did, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think you did ask that question, right? You were like, is it at your house?
Well, during COVID, you did it at your house.
I did, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Yeah, that's when it started. It started in during COVID. I had nothing else to do, so started a podcast. So, yes, so talk about a big job to do. You have, and what I forgot to mention is not only do you manage the Santander Arena, the Santander Performing Arts Center, you're also the manager of the Reading Royals, which is our local hockey team. You know, that's a lot to manage.
It is.
It is.
Thankfully, we have a good team to help.
Yeah. You have a good support staff and everybody.
Great staff on both sides that help keep me in line and keep things moving. But it's a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have any hair anymore.
What's the hardest part?
The nights and weekends.
The nights and weekends.
Yeah.
And you're there a lot then too, right? It's not like, this isn't a job where you can, it's not a 9 to 5 where you just go home.
No, for our most of our staff, it's not 9 to 5 ever.
Yeah.
So it's like last night we had Judas Priest, so you get home at midnight. Obviously, in my situation, still got to get up and get the kids out the door into school, but you got to be back in the office by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Gotcha.
To get ready for whatever's next. Like we've got an event tomorrow night at the theater, and then we've got some stuff this weekend at both buildings. So
yeah,
it just never stops.
Do you go back and forth when you have stuff at both buildings?
Like walk back and forth?
Yeah, like walk back and forth to see what things are going on because they're not too far apart.
Yeah, we never have we don't have a office up at the theater.
Yeah,
so everyone's kind of back and forth. We go hunker down for the day if there's an event, but if there's stuff at both buildings, usually a lot of us are going back and forth between operations and myself and whoever's settling that show. And so a lot of walking.
It's amazing. So, and the other thing, one of the things that I've always asked about, we have the hockey team there. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about this before we actually went live. The ice for the hockey. I think this is what I'm always curious about this. Does it stay there the whole time during the season? Do you just put the stuff over top? Because it's not like you just do hockey. You do concerts. Yep. You do what's the other thing you do? The bull riding and you're bringing dirt and things in there for that. Is the ice still there?
Yeah. So really late September through April-ish, the ice is there, and it gets covered by what we call polar floor, which is just kind of it's like plywood.
Oh, okay.
It's insulated.
Okay.
And then when we do the rodeo, it's ice, polar floor, plastic, plywood.
Oh my gosh.
And then dirt on top of that.
Wow. And you're bringing in loads of dirt, and then who's responsible for the dirt cleanup?
The rodeo will do a lot of it, and then our operations crew comes in.
Does the rest.
And then, some years they get mad because we'll do that one day, and then Monday to clean up, and then Tuesday we'll have an event. So
amazing.
It's a lot of work, a lot of, those are some long nights, but they do a fantastic job.
And you were telling me the cost for the ice per day is like ridiculous.
Well, per month.
Per month.
The ice plant to be on every month is $25,000 to $30,000. So
here you go. Do you want to do an ice skating rink?
Wow, that's crazy.
$25,000 to $30,000 a month, and it's electric, right? It's part of an electric bill. I guess.
Yeah, and it's all electric. Electric bills go high, but it's a lot of water too, obviously, because every time you run the Zamboni, you're shaving ice, but you're putting water back down to refreeze. So it's a ton of water.
Ton of water.
But electricity is the main thing. Yeah, the main expense there.
Amazing. That is incredible. And you had said that at one point, the old ice that was there, the old ice plant is what you call it, was starting to go. And there was actually a time where you were getting a little nervous because they were playing and it started like melting a little bit.
Yeah, when they put the ice plant in, those things last maybe 20 years and we're on year 22. Yeah. And it was the last couple of years with that thing was a little bit of a struggle there. And we had a game in the playoffs when it got, when it gets into April and it gets hot, it's hard to keep up.
It's right.
So it was 76 degrees out and the ice plant started to crap the
jeez.
bed, and then you could see the ice starting to get wet and watery, and it's like, this isn't good. But we got through that game and got it fixed. But that was
Oh man, that was nerve-wracking.
That old ice plant was a struggle, man. There was an alarm on it. Every night you'd wake up and that thing's going off. And somebody'd have to go in and make sure it's still running, and you kind of cross your fingers every night and hope you wake up and it's still on. But
yeah, because that's not cool. Because like the other team comes too to play a game,
yeah,
and all of a sudden the ice is not ice, or it's starting to get
or it's
weird,
just really wet. And 2 summers ago we replaced the ice plant, and put a new one in, and it's been great for the last 2 years, and it runs well. But it's expensive. Like we finished hockey at 10 p.m. on Saturday night, and by 2:00 on Sunday, everything was gone.
Wow.
So the guys got it out quick
so you got to stop the ice because it gets to be expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive, but then the daily maintenance of it is somebody's coming in every day to zam the ice and refinish it, and
even when they're not playing, they have to Zamboni the ice.
Yep.
Just you have to keep refinishing.
Yep. You can't really just let it sit there for too long. So from it was one day of pain to get it out, but now it's not at 7 a.m. every morning. So
unbelievable. The other thing too is I always had a question about the ice is where's the logos and stuff? Where is that in the ice? Because you can see the logos, you can see, but where is that?
It's all underneath. So they'll start by and you can't just dump water on the floor and it's wet. Right?
Okay,
you gotta turn the ice plant on. The floor's got to get cold, and then you kind of mist water on it, and you just walk and walk and walk and walk.
Really?
And mist, and it takes hours and hours, and then after you get enough of the mist, you paint it white. Right?
Okay.
Mist again. Then you put the logos in, and then you just build on top of that. And
never knew that.
Once you get to like an inch and a quarter, inch and a half, and if these numbers are off, my ops staff will blame me. But once you get to like that inch and a half, you can start dumping a little more water, but you can't just walk out there with a hose and just dump water like everyone thinks.
No way.
It's a process. Do it in a day, but to do it right, it takes a good 2.5, 3 days.
Wow. Interesting. But those logos and stuff are down there pretty deep.
Yeah.
That's why they don't get affected by the skates or the because I always thought about the Zamboni. I'm thinking, if that would be over top of the ice, taking the logo off every time, that would suck.
Yeah, I mean, it's not happening in our building because our staff's really good. But in some buildings, I've seen the Zamboni rip up a logo.
Oh, geez.
Or get down to where the paint is. Because a lot of that stuff's painted.
Yeah.
The lines are painted. So we get down to where like you'll see the red line and then there'll be a spot where you don't see a red line.
Amazing.
Because they've cut down too low.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've got to redo it. So again, from a maintenance standpoint, someone's in there every day and they check it with a drill, right? They put a drill in, drill down till they hit concrete and look at how far the drill went in, and that's how thick you are.
Unbelievable. What do you think, Hugo? Should we get in the ice business?
That's
ice
pretty impressive. That's
I get
pretty
calls
cool.
every fall. I get calls. Hey, we want to do an ice rink outdoors. We should do it. It's easy. And I'm like, you have no idea.
No idea.
Just from a maintenance standpoint, let alone getting a portable ice plant and all the piping and like.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is a lot. It's a lot. Well, let's move into a different point here. So what I was blown away with, too, is that you have an operating budget for there, and this is all public stuff. It's over $6.2 million operating budget just to run those. Is that both the places?
That's pre-COVID. So
it's pretty low.
Tripled since. I mean, our business since COVID ended has been ridiculously good.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So, I mean, it's well over 10 million now, but
amazing.
It's up there.
Amazing. So I got a question for you. So you meet some stars, obviously, because there's a lot of concerts in there. Sometimes you probably get to meet them because you're out and about or down in the lower areas there. Who was the most impressive that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't met so and so?
Chris Stapleton was really cool.
You met Chris Stapleton?
When I was in Kentucky.
Oh man, I would love to meet Chris Stapleton.
Super nice.
Is he as big as he looks?
He's massive.
He is. He's a big boy, right?
Yep. Just a nice dude, just like as humble and nice as you
see him on stage. We saw him actually out at Penn State.
Okay,
and he was awesome, amazing band.
Yeah, super
amazing
nice guy. I'm trying to think of who else. Thomas Rhett was cool because my daughter got to meet him. And
cool,
her favorite. So
cool.
That was cool. I mean, for me now too, my kids like him and meet him. It's
cool that is cool experience.
Got to say hi to Elton, but it was a real quick like. Hey,
did you really? They just said hi, but you saw him this far away,
really close. But it was just kind of a hey.
Now he's kind of short, I think.
Oh,
I'm not mistaken.
Really short guy.
Yeah, short guy.
Who else? Most of the people we get to meet, a lot of them just get to say hi to real quick. So it's kind of weird. But
anybody like a jerk?
I don't know about jerk. I mean,
but like somebody maybe standoffish. Maybe he's not going to say the names now, of course. But
I mean,
but anybody like
one of the head guys of NSYNC didn't really have time to say hi and was kind of
okay.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of looking at your car covered in road salt and winter grime? Or not quite getting the results you would like to see from the car wash? Well, I've got just the solution for you. The Detail Shop, your go-to destination for premium auto detailing. Yeah. Well, and I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
For the most part, they're all really cool and really nice. I mean,
they're
a
people.
lot of them show up like, I really wanted to meet Lil Wayne because it was just really cool to do.
Mm-hmm.
But he literally pulled up in an SUV, walked on stage, performed, walked off stage, got in the SUV, and was gone.
Yeah.
So like there wasn't any time.
Yeah.
But most of the artists, if they're in the building, will take the time to say hi, or you'll just see them walking around catering at the hallways. Or
very cool, man. So let's talk about. I know Pitbull was there, which I was there for Pitbull, and it was amazing. It was such a great time. And then let's talk about so you have seats for 8,800 people for concerts, 7,200 for hockey. The reason I brought up seats is you told me last time I talked to you that the seats are going to be removed.
Yeah, so this summer.
Now there's going to be seats put back in. You're not going to be sitting on the floor.
Standing
I don't want anybody to think standing room only. That way we can get 10,000 people in there. You know what I mean?
Pack them in.
Yeah, exactly. No, but you said the seats are they're gone.
Yeah, so the original seats are almost 23 years old at this point, and 20 years ago they were, a low bid project because the city done. So they're falling apart.
Yeah,
they can't get pieces anymore. So the authorities stepped up and invested a lot of money in new seats. They're all going to be cushioned on the top and the backs, which the current ones are not. And then they're all going to have cup holders, which is really going to be cool. So,
that's awesome.
I think in it's the best thing we've ever done to the building. And it's really going to change the way it looks in the fall. They're not going to be purple or bluish anymore. They're going to be black. Good. So it's going to be a big upgrade and something that the building's really needed for a long time. But
I agree
to get that project going.
I was there for two Royals games this past season.
That's it.
Yeah, 2 more than I was last year. But I want to get in there more. I do want to get in there more.
You guys had a good time.
We had a great time. It was amazing. The kids really liked the game. Yeah. I got to say, the first time they started fighting, I think that was very interesting for them. They thought that was fun. And I'm like, the guy's getting his crap beat out of him. And I'm like, my kids are liking the other guy getting the crap beat out of him, which is kind of interesting. But no, it was a really good game. What I love, too, is it's family friendly there. You guys got so much going on during the games. Like, it's not just a game. There's entertainment going on. There's activities. There's things you can win. There's food. There's bars there. I mean, it's a full entertainment night or afternoon, depending on when you go.
Yeah, it's a great time for the whole family, and it's affordable.
Definitely affordable.
After COVID, we got lucky. We hired a new director of game operations, a guy named Jack Curley, who came to us from 10 or 12 years in minor league baseball.
Oh, wow.
And just brought a different element to the game atmosphere of like, hey, when you go to a baseball game, like the Fighting Phils do a great job. Yeah. Baseball's there, but you can go and not watch an ounce of baseball.
You're exactly right.
So we did a really good job with what we have. Obviously, it's a different sport, but something's always happening. Every time there's a break, there's something going on. So it's a great atmosphere. The kids love it, love coming out.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing. I'm glad you guys are doing it because it really was. It was a very entertaining night. I really enjoyed it. So let's go on to the Performing Arts Center. I actually used to do theater in there with Reading Civic Theater years ago, and that has been around since the 1870s, is what I saw online. That is an amazing theater, and that is doing really well. You're getting some incredible acts. You're getting all kinds of different entertainment, your comedians, all these things. Is that doing as well as I think it is?
Yeah, the theater's had some really good years.
Yeah.
It's the theater kind of cyclical. So it's like some years are really, really strong and some years are okay. And then another strong year. But I mean,
you said the Broadway stuff's doing really well.
Broadway this year has been fantastic. And that before COVID, Broadway really struggled. Our last couple of years have been okay, right? Like we'd do 6 shows and 2 would do really well and the others would struggle or vice versa. And this year, for whatever reason, everything has just done great.
That's great. I think people are out again, too. I mean, a lot of us were very optimistic when COVID was everybody had an end date for COVID. Mm-hmm. Mine was a lot earlier than anybody else's. I was unmasking and, whatever you want to call it. I was doing everything way ahead. But there's a lot of people that waited a longer time. And I think right now we're at the point where no matter where you were with COVID, you're now back to life.
Yeah, I mean, last night was an example of that. Obviously, we had Judas Priest in, 5,000 people. Judas Priest was our first show in the arena out of COVID. Everyone had to be masked. Everyone had to have their vaccination cards checked at the entrance. And it struggled. We did 2,800, 3,000
wow.
maybe, and nobody bought merch. Nobody bought food and beverage. It was a rough night.
Yeah.
But
But you got back.
You couldn't go in backstage hallway without your vaccination card. Like, it was crazy. And then last night, nobody got checked at the door. No one had a mask on. Yeah. No restrictions backstage.
It's wonderful, isn't it?
And it did huge business. Yeah. So it's
that's a cool. That's a cool way to measure the two. Actually, that's really cool because that was the first, and now you're showing the other side of wow. It's we're back.
Yeah, last night was the first like full circle moment for me. Where oh man, 3 years ago, whatever it was. This show was totally different, and no one wanted to really be here. Like, they wanted to be out, they wanted to go to a show, but it was such a miserable experience. Having to, the lines were long at the door because you had to show your vaccination card, and then you had to wear masks.
Stay 6 feet apart.
Then you had to walk around and tell people to wear their masks. It was just like kind of a hassle of doing business.
Well, and it's what you're, and also during that time is you're doing something you're telling people to do something that is just not fun. It's not fun. So, but thank God that it's back and entertainment is back too. How is it going with parking in there at the arena?
Next question.
Next question. Okay, we're gonna not talk about parking because I know because it's a challenge. It's always been a challenge in the city of Reading with parking. I mean,
for us, it's frustrating because we're lucky in our situation and in our venues we control everything. Yeah, we control food and beverage. We control ticketing. We control event staff, ushers, housekeeping. Like, so if there's something that happens in the building, it's on us.
Yeah, got it.
We'll own it or take credit for it, whichever way it goes. Yeah. We have nothing to do with parking.
Yeah.
We communicate as much as we can. We want to be good partners. We try to get the information out. We try to get people to come downtown early. So it's frustrating because we don't control it. And I'm hoping that they've got a new executive director and a new board.
Good.
And I'm hoping that can do some things to fix it.
Yeah, obviously absolutely.
Parking has been very expensive for a long time, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
When you're paying more for parking than your concert ticket.
Unbelievable. Yeah. So now coming up in July, August, can you tell us some of the people that are coming up? Like, look, I know you said that you have some people that are coming. You actually said that there was maybe somebody you're going to be able to announce today, but that's all right. If we don't have that, we don't have it. We're not going to announce it.
And I don't want to jinx it. If it happens, it's going to be in September.
Well, if he says Elvis, then we know he's full of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I did see him at Giant the other day.
If it happens, it'll be in September, and it'll be should be huge. But
whoa, see, Hugo, aren't you dying to figure out what it is? Mm-hmm. So once we know, then we can get the word out. But I'm excited to know that.
Yeah, look, I guess when this airs, it'll be
July,
be the end of our fiscal year. So.
Is there any good comedians in July and August? Anybody that I'd be like, because I love comedians.
Comedy's been hot as fire, and
right?
We had a bunch. We had Nate Bargatze. We had
wasn't
John Mulaney, Joe Coy.
Joe Coy, yeah.
Joe Coy will be announced in the next 2 weeks. So after this, it'll be out. So I can announce.
Yeah. Good. Oh, good.
Back. Joe's the best.
Yeah, he's good.
Literally, you want to talk about one of the most humble, nicest dudes in the world. We first had him at the theater. And he's such a good story of building and building and building, and he worked his ass off.
Yep.
So we had Joe in the theater. We did 1,000 people the first time. I think couldn't have been a nicer dude. Comes back, sells it out again.
He's big now.
12 months later, and sells out the theater, 1,800 seats. We gave him a skateboard. We really rolled out the red carpet for a sold out show, and he loved it. And he came back next time in the arena and sold out. I think he'll sell it again this time.
So he goes from selling 1,000 people at the Performing Arts Center, right? Is that what you said? To 1,800 to selling out the arena.
7,000. And that's what we like, right? Like,
I
build
love
them up.
that.
And Joe's one of those guys that play, comedy's awesome because those guys play everywhere.
Yeah, they do.
So Joe, unlike a rock show where they're going to play Philadelphia, Wells Fargo Center, or they're going to play Reading.
Right.
Both. Joe will go play Wells Fargo. I think he just played it a couple weeks ago. He'll come back to Reading in the fall. And because he's comedy and his touring's cheaper, he doesn't care that we have 10,000 less seats.
Right.
The dude wants to perform and he wants to play everywhere. And so he'll play Philly and Hershey and Reading and Wilkes-Barre.
That's cool.
And comedy is the touring comedians that do that are awesome.
Yeah.
And Joe knows that he started here with 800 people.
That's cool.
He'll come back every year.
That's
every
cool.
time he can.
That's really cool.
Really cool.
And then Jim Gaffigan was here too. I went to see him here when he was here.
Gaffigan's been here a few times. I'd love to get him back. I think he's been doing too much TV, so he's on the road a whole lot. But
correct.
Gaffigan, Bill Burr, Jeff Dunham, Mulaney. We've had Kevin Hart a few times.
Yeah. Kevin Hart's small. Have you seen him in person?
Tiny dude.
He's definitely tiny.
Yeah.
This is another question I have. Then we're gonna wrap it up. So, what is the weirdest? Did you have any weird requests from a star? Like, You know, the story that got out years ago was, do you remember the story of Mariah Carey when she would go into the studio? She would always request just red M&Ms. So they had to go through the bag of M&Ms because you can't buy just red that I know of, and they would pick out all the other colors, and they'd be left with the red.
Those are definitely out there. I can't tell you the last M&M request we had, but we've had them.
We've had M&M requests, okay. But you don't have to say who it was, but is there anything that buddy had said, okay, I want, seaweed salad or something, or I want this, or you know what I mean? Like,
it's weird because food, like the backstage stuff has gotten so weird. Like, a lot of the people travel with a cook now, or they travel with an assistant who goes out and gets whatever weird stuff they want.
Oh, so there's no rider that you have to take care of.
Weird requests all the time for like lighting, like they want green lighting or red lighting.
Okay.
So that's always a weird one, or different kind of lamps. Elton, when he was touring, had all kinds of weird,
interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff in his dressing room to make it kind of a vibey thing. So,
yeah.
The weird stuff like that's kind of gotten away.
Yeah. Damn it.
Again,
I was hoping we'd get like a really good, something really really good. Like, they always wanted the purple, whatever. I don't know.
No, it's gotten so easy. Like, they travel with so many people now.
Yeah.
And again, so many of the artists will come in, Eric Church literally came in on his bus, stayed on the bus, performed, got back on his bus because the buses are so nice now.
Yeah.
So it's like they have their own little home away from home.
Yep.
So don't need to come sit in a hockey locker room too long.
I get it. Well, we were trying to get something really weird and stupid, but it didn't happen.
You want to go through the upcoming events?
Just go ahead, and then we're going to wrap it up with that.
Yeah, we've got Bulls, Bands, and Barrels with Charles Wesley Goodwin in July. That's the 20th.
Okay, cool.
Brett Floyd, July 23rd in the theater. That'll be a cool one.
Nice.
Lamb of God and Mastodon in August for you metalheads.
Yep, don't know that one.
Whiskey Myers is coming back. You'd love Whiskey Myers.
Okay, I like whiskey, so.
There you go. Los Timoranos in the fall is going to play.
I saw that.
2 nights.
Yep.
August 29 and 30, which is cool. That's the Latin market has been huge for us.
Absolutely.
So Timoranos will do 2 nights in August. Before this airs, we'll have 2 nights of Aventura, which is their going away tour.
Okay.
It's going to gross $3 million. It'll be
wow.
Massive 2 nights for us. August 30th, Co Wetzel is going to be here, which is doing very well. By the time this airs, we'll have announced Megadeth for September.
Megadeth. There you go. Hugo, there's your favorite.
Show. Board Teachers at the theater, which is a funny group of YouTube teachers. Nobody drank more than that crowd did.
Are you serious?
The last time we had them here, it was insane. Mercy Me in October. I'm trying to think of what else is on.
Is Mercy Me is that
Christian
a
group?
Yeah.
They'll play the arena, do great business, and then Cheyenne in November. So we've got a lot of stuff that we'll announce over the next couple of weeks. The fall will be busy.
Where do we go to find this stuff? Give me a place to go.
Santander-arena.com or Santander Arena and Performing Arts Center on Facebook.
Do we still have suites there to rent?
They are all leased.
They're all leased.
Our staff with Tammy Doms and her team have done a great job. Every
fantastic.
suite we have is leased for the year.
What about advertising? Can we advertise there?
You can always advertise.
Yes. So we can do them on the screens. You can do anything.
Yep,
There's all different kinds of packages.
LED
right?
signs. We've got nice logos for hockey. You can put stuff on the players' jerseys.
Gotcha.
Anywhere on the con.
Who do we talk to for that?
Tammy Doms.
Tammy Doms. I know who she is. Yeah.
Santander-arena.com.
Absolutely awesome. That's great, man. Thanks for coming out. We'll have to have you back again and talk about anybody else that's coming, or actually maybe when the seats go in, we can do a seat test.
Yeah,
we can make sure they're very comfortable. What do you think? That should work, right?
Check them out.
All right. Sounds good, man. All right. There you go. If you're looking for entertainment, seriously, go to the Santander Arena, Santander Performing Arts Center, or go see the Royals. They're there also. All those things are amazing. Check out the schedule online and, just have a good time. We have something here that's special, so we should use it. All right. That's about it. Are your kitchen and bathroom remodels a little overdue? Well, now's your chance to call First Response Contracting. John Sellers will take care of you. 484-256-7136. They do residential and commercial, and they're licensed and insured. Give them a call at 484-256-7136.